Now, after seeing a magazine headline while growing up in the UK, our next guest promised himself that he would have abs and a six-pack before he turned 39. But as his 39th birthday had been and gone, it seemed that his boyhood dream was well and truly over.
That is, until the birth of his daughter, Sophia, in February last year, finally gave Kevin O'Connor the motivation he was looking for. And with the help of his wife, of course, Emma, Kevin began his amazing weight loss journey. And I'm delighted to say that Kevin joins us now to tell us how he lost 20 kilos and went from a 36-inch waist to a 28-inch waist, all within the space of 8 months. They are pretty incredible stats, I have to say. You did get the abs of your dream as well, never mind just the weight loss and the inches around your weight. Back to this magazine headline that you saw. So, what age were you, first of all?
I think I was about 12 years of age, and it was such a strange thing for me to hold on to for so long, but it caught my eye on a magazine stand, and something along the lines of, even at 39, you can still get a six-pack. And as a child, I thought, 39, like, wow, like that's
at that age.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was so far away. But the problem with that is every birthday, my birthday was every February, obviously, and that 39 kept coming closer and closer. And when I turned to 30, I remember saying to myself, I have 9 years. And every year just ticked by, and every year served as a reminder to me. So
if that magazine cover had said abs at 21 or abs at 60, do you think you would have stuck to those goals?
I don't know. It was the fact that the magazine had built it up to say that, like, age was a problem, even at 39, when it was more so maybe at any age.
And you'd think that desire to sort of look that way and to have that physique is something you'd really have in your 20s as a young man who's out about socialising, meeting people, but you didn't particularly.
No, I mean, my Saturdays were typically nursing a hangover. Just typical, I won't say typical, but just one of the lads goes out and has a few drinks, and health wasn't really part of didn't take a priority in my life at that age.
Meeting you now, it's hard to imagine that you were morbidly obese or anything like that. So just, what was your heaviest weight?
I was about 95 kilos. It doesn't sound particularly heavy, but it is, particularly when you're not happy with how you look.
That's 14 and a half, 15 stone.
Yeah.
Well, and you won't mind me saying this, you're not the tallest guy in the world, you're not the biggest guy in the world, so you're not kind of built for 15 stone.
No, I wasn't.
But when you look at those photographs as you say, you don't look uncomfortably overweight, do you?
Just an average overweight guy, to be honest. Like, it's... I'm not one of these guys that, a TV series is made over, he's so big, he has to go have an operation and so on. I'm just a guy that's eaten and drank too much over the
What height are you, do you mind me asking, Kevin?
5'8".
5'8". So what would your fighting weight be? What was it supposed to be?
Apparently I'm in the normal range now for my height and my weight, which, when you look at this is the thing, these charts, if you live and breathe by these charts, it's a problem. I mean, I feel I'm quite lean for what I've done, and to be classed as normal
Whereas I think people would probably look at you and think ideal.
So of course muscle is heavier.
Well, yeah, I mean...
So BMI can be very misleading in that regard. I mean, you look at all the rugby players who are some of the fittest people on the planet are all considered to be morbidly obese because of their BMI.
That's why you take these charts with a pinch of salt, really, at the end of the day.
Had you been exercising? Had you been going to the gym on and off for the last couple of years, playing the odd game of sport, that type of thing?
You see, well, sport, no. But going to the gym, tipping away at it 2-3 times a week.
Which is quite a lot, you think, isn't it?
Which is a lot, but remember, when I was 38, 39 was fast approaching, so I thought, maybe I better start doing something about it. I remember being in the gym in December of 2016, and I said to one of the trainers there, I said, do you think I'll get a six-pack in 2 months? Because, turning 39 in February. And he's like, maybe, but not really. So, I mean, the problem is, it's not the 1 hour that you spend in the gym, or however long you spend, it's the 23 hours you spend at home. That's the problem.
One of the problems with gym culture, and I mean, I've been going to gyms for decades, and it's one of the most oft-heard complaints, moans, whatever, that you hear from guys is that, I work really hard. How come I can't look like those guys in the magazines? Well, first and foremost, they're airbrushed. Secondly, there may be other things going on, i.e. they may be taking performance enhancers, drugs, etc., which is an option that a lot of guys consider quite seriously, particularly regular gym goers, going, I'm working really hard, there's something I'm not doing here. Oh yeah, you're not taking the drugs like the bodybuilders. The third option, which actually is the answer, and you've discovered it, is that all of this, or a lot of this, is built in the kitchen.
If anyone was to say what's the secret, I would say food. Like, I still eat good. I eat what I want, but it's how much you eat. It's the quantity. It's make sure there's something green on your plate. I know it's like, what's your secret? Workout, diet, and exercise. There's no secret to it. I mean, that's a typical dinner. You might be wondering, what is that? I mean, that delicious meal. It takes me 5 minutes to make. I mean, for me, if it takes me anything more than 5 minutes, I'm probably going to not eat it. I want something quick, easy, and tasty.
So give us an idea for people who are watching and listening at home and thinking, OK, actually, how does he do this? What was your average diet, would you say? What was your daily food intake, and what is it now? OK,
so breakfast for me doesn't usually start till later on in the day anyway. I'm not fasting or intermittent fasting, nothing like that. I'm just not hungry until about midday. So normally what I used to have was maybe 3 or 4 slices of toast, a boiled egg, loads of butter on it to start, maybe then go and have another couple of slices of toast just to finish off, a cup of coffee with milk. My breakfast now would be a high-protein yogurt with a banana, some crushed walnuts and dried pineapple or mango.
Absolutely delicious.
Oh, it tastes great, and takes less time to make as well. I mean, and cost-wise, I mean, you can get everything in the supermarket, all own-branded products. It doesn't, you don't have to spend a lot either to eat well.
And it's just as tasty and just as flavoursome.
I was going to say, but you do have to put the preparation in there, don't you? Well,
I mean, here's the thing. Yes, at the start, all right? So at the start, the preparation for me was, I've got to know what I'm eating here. And that involved tracking everything. So I used the MyFitnessPal app, and at the start, it's a bit of a pain because I got to make sure I know what I'm eating. So I'm scanning barcodes, I'm weighing food, all the things that I never did before. So the main difference is I now know what I'm eating. I know how many calories I'm consuming, how much protein is in it. I'm just taking the effort to understand what I'm eating. It's like we're built in a society where gauges are there to help us. We know how fast we go. We know how much petrol is in the car. We know the volume limits on our televisions. All of that is feedback to help us make choices. So for me, it's like, well, the weighing scales is my only real way, other than feeling full or hungry, to give me a gauge about how much food I'm eating.
But we all hate doing paperwork, Kevin. And that's basically the bottom line here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is just do your preparation. It's like when you get a contract, read the small print. No, it'll be grand, I'll just sign.
Terms and conditions, take care.
And when you started tracking what you were actually eating every day, had you been sort of lying to yourself a little bit?
Oh, now that's the thing, yeah. At the start, you'll feel, did I track that? Did I not track it? The most important thing is be honest with yourself, because no one else is going to look at this other than yourself. So a month down the line and you look back on your weight and you say, I didn't lose any weight. If you're honest with yourself, you can go back and check your meals and see, well, maybe I had a lot more that day and it seems to be more common that I'm having more than I should. So if you're just honest with yourself and track your food.
So the food diary. I mean, every nutritionist we've ever had in here has said, keep a food diary,
yeah.
and we're all
you
going,
need to make yourself aware. So you do have to be disciplined. Well, how did you get that discipline? Because you were saying that you were going to the gym for 2 decades, dragging yourself along. What was the change?
That's a great question. I think that's the secret to how it worked for me. It was my why, all right? So it's 2 whys. It's the birth of my daughter, Sophia, and I didn't want to have a dad bod. I mean, it's not like, dad bods. We're not even the ones that have the babies. And it was the magazine cover. So I had those 2 factors that turned into a motivator for me. Okay, so the motivating factor was, well, I kind of read somewhere that it takes 21 to 30 days to create a habit. So if I just stick at this and use my motivation, my whys, to keep me pushing forward long enough that my motivation, even if my motivation fades away, I've now formed that habit. And I believe that's what happened to me. The fact that my driving forces, my daughter and the magazine cover really, were what kind of switched into a habit for me. And
it has helped. There's your lovely wife, Emma, there as well. She has changed too. The family has changed their attitude to food and to exercise.
Absolutely. I mean, Emma's lost, since having the baby, she's lost a lot of weight. She looks great. And she's often saying, have you tracked your meals? She's double-checking to make sure.
So you help each other?
Yes, very much so.
You feel great, you look great.
Thank you very much.
Great story. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.